Hi, this is Tara Omatosho with an interview from Inspired into Action. Today we have Raynell Reynolds. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good, doing good. Ray, could
Good.
you tell the listeners about who you are and what you do?
All right. I am like every other woman. I'm a whole lot of things. I am Jason's wife. I am the mother of his four children. I am a follower of Jesus Christ, and I have the privilege of also being a business owner. So I am the owner and lead makeup artist for The Gallery, which is a beauty brand. I'm sorry, a beauty consulting company. We go and we partner up with hairstylists and photographers. So we have the opportunity to just make people feel gorgeous, and so that's who I am. All those things,
All those things. And you're a speaker as well.
and a speaker as well. That's right.
Yes,
That's right.
yes.
That's
Could
right.
you tell us what inspired you to become a makeup artist?
So, um, so my attempt is to make this kind of quick, right? So a long time ago, like so many years ago, I started out as a childhood model, and it just became like super evident that I was like the shortest kid on the block. So that was not gonna work, right? So what turned what turned into my modeling turned into my helping with the clothes and my helping with the looks. And that just kind of continued to evolve into fashion. And I went to Coppin State University, whoop, whoop, and was set on being an English major and going to law school. Honey, hush, look, these people in this school gave me, I want to say it was 11 papers, and they were all due in like 3 days. I was like, where do I change my major? Where do I need to go? Who do I need to talk to? So I changed my major that day. That very day, I changed my major. I took a personality test, and they placed me in urban arts. And that was probably the best move I had ever made up to that date. Um, so what that did is that gave me opportunity to explore the fashion side of myself and what I really was passionate about. And that evolved into makeup. Um, so fast forward to 2006. I was a part of a oh, I am a part of a ministry, and my spiritual dad was a part of a quartet group, the Heavenly Sons, actually. And they were preparing for a photo shoot, and they were like, well, can you do the photos? We know you went to school for photography. Can you do the photos? So I was like, all right, sweet, cool, bet that. So that turned into them like, oh wait, we're gonna look shiny. We don't have a makeup artist, and can you do the makeup? So I was like, yeah, okay. So it's a group. I think the group was like five of them. And so did all those guys makeup, did the photography for that. And they used that photography and that makeup were both used for their album cover for dedication. Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I started. I started by doing men. I did male makeup for pretty much 9, 10 years consistently, besides one family, one of my good friends. Actually, my friend who made this shirt for me, the Gallery Dolls t-shirt. She and her girls were like my only female clients for years. Um, and then I joined a makeup team, and then kind of my one of my good friends, Michelle, we kind of spent off, and I spent off and started the gallery, and we've just been rocking and rolling ever since.
Wow. It's interesting you started doing men. Of all, I mean, that's a
Yeah.
really interesting niche.
Yeah.
A lot of the makeup artists that I have spoken to, they don't strictly do women. I don't want to say they strictly do women, but
Right.
you don't find it that often where makeup artist is doing constantly men. How did that happen?
Yeah.
Or just based on referral? People liked your work?
Yeah, from referral, doing men is very different. Male makeup is very different. Um, it's one of those things where they don't want people to know they're wearing makeup, obviously, and so it is really referral because they're not gonna like Google a bunch of makeup art. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
that's not happening.
No.
And so that evolved into my doing cover ups. So men have tattoos. So I start doing the guys for something, then they may have a tattoo that needs to be covered up, and then that kind of snowballed and spent. And that's actually how I started doing bridal makeup, because I had a groom who did not want his tattoo shown when they do the photo with the rings.
Mhm.
And so I did his makeup and did his because he had a tattoo on the side of his neck, and I did his hand. And then his wife was like, "Well, was his bride at the time? She was like, well, let's see if she can do my makeup." And so it all just kind of kept going. But it's funny. About I guess 2 years now, I kept feeling like I just needed to prepare, you know?
Mm.
And I was like, I don't know what I'm preparing for. I was talking to my husband, and I was like, babe, I don't know what it is I'm preparing for. I just know that I just feel like I'm supposed to be preparing. And so then I just started lining everything up, writing everything out, looking up insurance and what it just everything, contracts, everything. Getting the website done and all. And the day we launched the website, that day my calendar was booked 9 months out.
Wow.
Yep.
That is just is so that's just a testament to how when the Lord speaks to you, you need to take action. Because he's always speaking. It's
Yep.
about whether we're hearing it or not,
Yep.
hearing him speak to
Yep.
us.
Yep.
And when you hear and you can take action, that's when it's and then those things happen. You're like, oh man, I should always listen. you know,
Right.
I should.
Because you know what? He knows so much more than us, right?
Yes,
Like
yes,
we see in part, and it's so cool because if you really look at it and you say, well, you know what? He has my best interests at
yes.
heart, right? And the plan is already his, right? And if he's lined it up, then my not moving is almost like a slap in the face.
Yeah, it's the disobedience. It's
Right,
disobedience.
sheer, right.
Yeah.
So it's a habit, we create a habit of it, a habit of listening, and it wasn't always easy for me to listen, but just yeah, I just I just I subscribe to the fact to let people think I'm crazy. Like I'd be like, well, I do. I'm just like, well, yeah, I'm real settled in knowing that I know what I know when I hear him. I'm real settled in that, and it doesn't bother me when other people don't hear what I hear or see what I see. I just move. I
Mm,
really do. I just
yeah.
move.
Yeah, I hear you. I definitely understand what you're saying. So,
Yeah.
in regards to your business, what are some of your goals? Because I know we spoke before prior to this interview. So, what are some of your goals that you're working on in regards to developing your business more?
Oh man, so we actually just had a meeting yesterday that went over so much. So we have some really cool things coming together over the next year for children. And I'm excited about that, and that will all be in line. I can't really talk too much about that now, but maybe you'll have
Mm.
me back and we can talk about that in a
Yes,
couple
yes.
months. So that's going on, and then I am finishing a program. I really need to break out. I'm like such a private person, but I am in school now for aesthetics.
Mhm.
And so I will be a licensed esthetician in July. So that is obviously great for our clients because we'll be able to take them from not just having their makeup done, but the whole wellness of your skin, which is really what I believe strongly about. My business is sponsored by Artistry, and Artistry makeup brand, a cosmetic brand rather, is very serious about your skincare and that. So a lot of what I want to do is move into educating
Mhm,
um,
mhm.
women on, and young ladies also, on how to take care of their skin. Like, how do we protect what we have? How do we extend the luster of what we have? You know what I mean? So
Right, right, correct.
so that is really educating is really a huge part of where I want to go. I want to hold more classes. I've done some one-on-one classes and spoke at a few events. So I really want to kind of get more into that. Ultimately, so this is I'm throwing this out there because ultimately I would like to do makeup for news stations.
Okay, yeah.
Ultimately, that's what I would like to do. Yeah.
Well, when you speak it out, you got to speak it out. And my
Something
husband and I
happens.
always are saying, daily confessions of people are looking for us to speak at their events. People are looking for us to give us opportunities, and those things,
Okay.
they do come when
That's
you
it.
speak those things out. Yeah.
That's it.
So let me ask you, what in regards to business are some skills that you think that entrepreneurs should have?
Oh man, there are so many. Um, I don't I think we are misled when we put together a definition of a leader. Um, and so while I believe that we ought to have leadership qualities, what I mean when I say that is we ought to be solidified in what it is we believe, period. That is just across the board what we believe in. Kind of have our integrity sealed with that. Being able to follow someone who has a path already lined out, someone who's already done it, mentor. I think that's important. Um, Being moldable, the awesome thing about being an entrepreneur is being someone that people want to follow.
Yes.
So in being moldable and being not feeling like you have to know it all. I'm not the smartest person in my camp. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that is good for me. That is okay with me. Because I benefit from so many smart people around me. So being a people person would be it. Being the leader with all that I said, stable that I said. Um, One of the biggest things that I've learned is to do it now. Do it now. Procrastinating is so expensive, especially when you have other people counting on you. You know what I mean? Like it's expensive. You have late fees and you run into insurance issues and then you got clients and you didn't write this. And I have never, thank you God, I've never been late to a job. I have never double booked myself. Um, that is something that like I freak out every time I have a job. Like I'm like, do I have everything? I'm like putting it in my GPS like as soon as I wake up. Like it's like crazy because I just believe that that is something that you will hang yourself. Procrastinating will kill anything that is lined up for you. Forget your gift. If you
Yeah.
can't offer people an experience and you can't offer them um something where they take a piece of you almost with them when you leave, you can forget it. Forget the gift.
Yeah, and you don't want your lateness or your unprofessionalism to be the last standing note when you leave them. You want
Yeah,
them to remember like she was on time, she was very
that's right.
professional,
That's right.
she gave me good tips about what I could do in the future. Not alone just this experience with putting makeup on for my wedding. I don't know if you do that, if you give tips to the brides or whomever you're doing makeup for, like, you thought about doing this,
Yep.
next time you may not need this full face, but you might be able to put this on and do that and do
Yeah.
that and
Yeah.
that type of thing. So
Yeah.
I think it's so important. I mean, our names are more important than anything, and the
Yeah.
name the characteristics that you place forth when you're working with people, you have to remember that they will remember your name and they'll place those
That's
characteristics,
it.
the weakness or the strengths, they'll
Do it.
remember those things
Do
because
it.
you
Yep.
did something or did not do something.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it's very
Absolutely.
important. It's very important. So,
Absolutely.
what are some action steps? If someone wanted to start, maybe they wanted to start in your business, they feel or they've been told by family, friends that they're talented and they're in makeup and they can make up people's faces and
Hmm.
it looks really nice. What
Yeah.
would be some things that you can share with them, some action steps? Because I know there are a lot of young girls that can do really well in makeup, but they
Hmm.
just don't know how to start. Or there may be some
Hmm.
older girls who I've always been told that that's what they should pursue, but they just haven't done it. So what
Right.
are some things that you can give to them, some tips or tools that you can give to them that would help them get started?
So the first thing I would absolutely say is do it. That would be, and when I say do it, I mean do it right now. Do it. Do it now. From here on, have in your mind, you are a successful, just like what you were saying earlier, you are a successful makeup artist. Your makeup artistry business pays your bills. You are in control of your calendar. I right now, you would switch your brain to believing and deciding and moving like you are the makeup artist that you imagine yourself being. You know what I mean? I think that there's
Yes.
a gap between where we imagine ourselves and where we present ourselves to the world. So,
Yeah.
bridging that gap mentally first would be the first thing I would say to do. The second thing I would say to do is I would say read every book you can get your hand on, as far as the business is concerned, the beauty business. A lot now, makeup is bleeding into the fashion industry. So I would say read every book that you can get your hands on. Hold your gut. And what I mean when I say hold your gut is, people don't always have to know everything you know. So close your mouth and listen. Put yourself in position to
You
hear.
said you said close your mouth and listen.
Yeah,
That's good. That's
yeah,
good.
yeah. I think that the biggest thing that I've done, I've learned to do, and am learning to do, because I get excited. So I'm like, oh my God, I want to talk. I get so excited. But the one, I think, most important thing I'm learning to do is to not talk, and to listen to the powerhouses that I have the fortunate uh, pleasure of being around. You know what I mean? In whatever industry they are rocking it in. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So write, and then write down what it is you see yourself doing. So you grabbed every book, you're reading your books. As you're reading your books, you know, you're praying, and as things are coming to you and they're being highlighted to you, write those things down, get that written down, and start a book and keep it going. Start that book, read that book, get those notes in there, those ideas in there, and just go for it. I think um I think the biggest thing is we just don't ever start. You know what I
Yes.
mean? That's the hardest, from what I have seen, and young ladies I've had the opportunity to mentor or speak with, um, even young men. It's that we just never start. So we have all of these awesome ideas, but we never start, and that's, to me, that's the hardest thing I think that we battle with, because we're paralyzed by the what if. You know what I mean?
Right.
What if
Right.
it
Yeah.
doesn't
No, most
work? What will
definitely.
people think? And just all of the what ifs. We're paralyzed. So
Yes.
start would be the first thing I
Yeah,
would.
that's really great. I mean, my husband and I, we are all about people starting. That's why
Yeah.
we have these webinars, and we're going to be having seminars with people about starting your business. Like ideas, you have great ideas. It's called Ideas and Paydays. And
I
you have
love
great ideas. Let's make it happen. Let's make it
it.
happen. Let's stop sitting on that
I
idea.
love it.
Stop procrastinating, like you said, and let's make it happen. And a lot of times, like you said, fear sets in, and it's not real. It's just things that are in your head that are
Yep.
telling you don't stop.
Yep.
Don't start. And
Yep.
you don't start because of those
Yep.
things that are in your head.
It's
And you need to
real.
just put those things out your head and just start, because the thing is, you really won't know what it can become if you never take a step forward.
Well, you
But
know
if
what?
you really go ahead.
Even even more so than that, right? What I have learned to believe is you do know. You
Mm.
do know that you're awesome. You do know that you rock. You do know that you are really good. You do know that your circle is going to change. You do know that you're going to have to say no. You do know that you're going to have to be in the front. You do know. And because you do know, that scares you, because
Mm.
things are going to
Yes.
change. And that's what freaks you out. But that is okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay.
You're
I
right.
think that that is, there is I believe, a poem that says, or a quote that says, we are afraid of our greatness. Um,
I've heard of that.
you've heard of
Yes.
it, something like that. I might be chopping it up. Oh gosh. But I think that's what it is. I think you do know. Sometimes
Yeah,
maybe it's a what if
I
you.
agree. I think you do
Mm,
know, and you're scared of what that may, like you said, what that may look like.
yep.
because everyone is comfortable with being comfortable.
Yeah, yeah. And our friends are
And
comfortable with us being
oh yeah.
who we are.
Yes.
When we change, it makes people, especially entrepreneurs. When you're an entrepreneur, you're born an entrepreneur. You know what I mean? Like that is just something that's in you. And we are the people in the group that kind of, we kind of get the things going. And I think that
Yes.
people are comfortable having us in a space where they can be comfortable because we stretch
Hmm.
our friends. You know what I mean? Like we like,
Yeah, no, you
no,
do.
so
And everyone should want to have friends that stretch them,
yeah,
or people around them. I mean, you should have people, people that are you're mentoring, people that are on your same level, but you definitely need those people
people are
in your
stretching,
life that stretch
pushing
you,
you.
that
That's
question
right.
you,
That's right.
all in love, right? Because you should know that they love you, and
Yeah,
hopefully they do love you, and that's why they're questioning you. But it's making you think. It's
it
making you
does.
think about the things that you did not take in consideration.
I have a friend who always asks me, "What are you reading?"
Mm,
She's been asking my 11, we have, our oldest daughter is 11. She's been asking her, what are you reading since she was 3?
mm,
Like she's always like,
that's good.
what are you reading? What are you getting from that? What are you doing? And that's another reason, that habit of reading, getting all that information. When I say get your hands on every book, because a lot of times the shortcut,
Hmm.
and not in a lazy, slick, get over kind of way, but sometimes the shortcut is in the books. Sometimes you
Hmm.
can avoid hitting your head on some things because some other maverick or awesome or celebrity or, god of this industry or whatever you want to call them, they've already written the secrets out. They've already written their mistakes out. Why do you need to go through the same ones? You know what I mean? Like
Right.
you don't have
Well,
to.
that's interesting you say that, because that's my next and final question. What
Okay.
are some challenges that you've experienced, and what are some words of wisdom that you can share with the listeners on how to avoid experiencing those challenges?
Mm, okay. Um, I have a very different mindset. So I don't buy into challenges. Um, maybe
Well, I
it's
call them like learning opportunities. I think they're all learning opportunities. I think when you come against something that is new,
mhm,
it's a learning opportunity that you haven't, you can learn from it, whether
mhm,
it went the way you wanted to go or
mhm.
went a different way. Like, what can I learn from this?
Okay. So one of the biggest curves for me was, I'm a stay-at-home mom, right? And so I don't work a conventional job. I make my own schedule. My makeup schedule is from Thursday to Monday. So I work, my work week starts on Thursday, which is like crazy. But it does. And so one of the biggest things I've had to maneuver in this is walking out of the door. So for me,
Mm-hmm.
it's, not making excuses about where my children are gonna be. Properly planning, time management. You know what I mean? Because if someone calls me 2 weeks from now, calls me today and say it's in 2 weeks. I need you to do my makeup for a girls' night out. Me and my girlfriend's makeup for girls' night out. It's 3 girls. I need to right then at that moment calculate what time I need to walk out my door, how much time I need on each girls, and be able to plan that for someone to be with our children. If in fact my husband is
Mm-hmm.
at work or something like that. So one of the biggest things I've had to learn, I would say really, is time management. And in everything, because the client has somewhere to go. You know what I mean? Like there has not ever been a client that has called me to say, come do my makeup so I can stay in a house. You know what I mean? Like to do nothing.
Right.
So that client has somewhere to go. And so probably time management has been the biggest learning curve. Getting myself, you know, uh, making sure my time is straight, making sure I do the job I'm called to do and do that well, and making sure I offer them an experience all within the time I say I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? So I would say time management has been the most biggest curve for me as a wife and stay-at-home mom and business owner, the time management piece probably. Mm.
Okay. All right. Now, Ray, if the listeners want to get in contact with you, what's the best way that they can do that?
So I am on Instagram, Thegalleryrocks. I am on Facebook, Lucky Reynolds. I also have my business cell phone, and that is 240-383-0909. Clients can call, text. Our email is the gallery est for established. So the gallery est 2013 at gmail.com.
And say your phone number one more time for me, please.
Okay. It's 240-383-0909.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much, Ray, for taking the time out to talk with us about your business. I know that the things that you share with us will definitely benefit those listeners that choose to listen to it.
Well, you have been awesome and you are beautiful. Thank you for having me. I'd love to be able to come
Thank
back in a
you.
couple of months and share with you guys what is coming out. It's just a few weeks away, so hopefully we can get back and talk about that.
Okay, that would be great. That would be great.
Okay,
I like that.
sounds
All
good.
right. Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.